everyone. Welcome to 9:30 flow practice. My name's Fiona. Thanks for joining us. I've got Katie here demoing today. She's come in to demo. We're going to be focusing on balance this morning in our practice. Focusing on balance as we move from pose to pose is so amazing for keeping us mindful and focused and our attention inward as we move through the practice. So it's one of my favourite things to do, and it's great for what's going on with the external world at the moment. The other thing I love about working on balancing poses is it's amazing to train our functional core, so the deeper stabilising core muscles, and also really great for glute strength as well. And the glutes, of course, being the main stabilisers of our hips. The yogis also tell us if we work on balance on the mat, it helps us to attain balance in our life off the mat as well. So it's a fabulous theme, and we will get started. So we're going to come into a comfortable upright seat. If you would like to pop yourself up onto a block or a rolled blanket, that is always a great idea. And just begin to settle yourself onto your mat and begin to turn your awareness, your attention inward. And start to notice the way you're feeling through your body this morning. Observing the sensations through the muscles, joints, bones. And also just to check in with how you're feeling mentally and emotionally. And observing your energy levels. Starting to notice your breath. And if you're not already, just ensuring that you've lightly sealed your lips and are breathing in and out through the nose exclusively. And just watching the breath as it enters and leaves the body. And taking a deep, full inhale through the nose, so you're filling up and expanding the lungs, and then a releasing sigh out through the mouth. Maybe just repeating that one more time. Deep inhale, fill up. And then take a long, smooth exhale. Good. We're going to take a few rounds of the 4 square breath, or the box breathing. It's a nice balancing pranayama. So from where you are, let's inhale together through the nose for the count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a pause at the top for 4, 3, 2, 1. And then exhale through the nose, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause at the bottom, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continuing on, inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause at the top. 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the breath. 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, last time through. 4, 3, 2, 1. Retain the breath. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale through the nose. 4, 3, 2, 1. And pause. 4, 3, 2, and 1. So just coming back to your natural breath. And just taking a moment to observe any changes and shifts that come up for you following from that pranayama. And then we'll gently float the palms up to touch in front of the heart. And perhaps taking a moment to set an intention, set a sankalpa for your practice. Acknowledging what it is that's brought you onto the mat this morning. Maybe there's something personal you're working on. Or maybe you would like to come along with the theme of balance. Seal your intention with a deep inhale, fill up with that intention, and as you exhale, releasing it out to the universe. Good. Gently, gently blinking open your eyes, and we'll come back to a cross-legged position if possible. Maybe you pop yourself up on your block. And we're just going to start with a few little freestyle rolls through the spine. Just taking the next 5 or 6 breaths just to swirl through the spine, maybe give the shoulders a little shrug and release, maybe some upright cat and cow. You could keep the eyes closed, link in with the breath and just check in with your spine, your hips, your shoulders. 2 or 3 more rounds of breath just like that. And then when you're ready, making your way back into stillness. Good. So we're going to start with a little foot love this morning. So what we're going to do is keep the legs in a cross position. We're going to take the right hand over to the left toes. And we need to pick up the foot. And what we're going to do is penetrate the toes with your fingers. Yeah. And then just get into a comfortable position holding onto your legs. So you can hold on over the top or sort of cradle underneath. And then just a little squeeze with the hands and release. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. And from there, continue holding onto your foot. Maybe you just take a few little circles around through the toes. You might even begin to mobilize the ankles a little bit. And then take 1 more breath in this direction. And then gently release the fingers out of the toes and we'll swap over and go the other way. So the same thing, taking hold of the right foot with the left hand, just swapping over. And fingers through the toes. Let's just start off with a little squeeze and release, squeeze and release. So really good to give the feet a little bit of love before we start a balancing practice, just because they're the foundation of all of our standing balances. This just helps to release the toes and give us a better base to work from. Good, and you can do those rolls through the ankle, and then gently releasing the foot down. So just wiggle a little forward onto the front of your mat so you've got some space behind you to roll down. And you can take a gentle rock and roll back and forth to come back onto your back, or maybe you prefer just to take a gentle roll down. Completely up to you, whatever feels the best. Good, and then we'll hug the knees in towards the chest, give yourself a gentle squeeze in, maybe create a little gentle movement on the back of the body. Good. And then release the head, neck and shoulders down. Keep the knees up and we'll see if we can get the shins parallel to the floor. We'll just lift the arms up off the mat, turn the palms towards the sky. With the next inhale, lift head, neck and shoulders up and off the mat. And we're going to use the exhale to bring the arms up and overhead like big rainbows. And then as you inhale, arms back alongside the body. Good. Exhale, sending the arms back. Good. And just moving with your breath. Arms forward and then up overhead. Good. So if it's getting strong through the neck, you could always release down and take a little break and then join in. Otherwise, we're working with these rainbow arms for another 3 rounds. Lower back is pressing down into the mat, continuing to breathe. Just switching on the core before we move into the rest of our practice. When you've done your 3 or 4 rounds, you can release the arms back alongside the body and release the head, neck and shoulders down, maybe another little squeeze of the legs in towards the chest. Create any movement your body craves. Little roll through the hips. And then we're going to rock and roll back up and over into a tabletop position. Stacking the hands underneath the shoulders, the knees are hip-width apart. Spread the fingers nice and wide. Beautiful. A little engagement through the belly button sucking lightly back in toward the spine. Gaze between the hands. With the next inhale, we're going to open up the right arm to twist up. Maybe you look up towards the hand. And then with the exhale, lowering back down. And then just swapping the hands over, twisting up on the left side. And twisting back down. So continuing on like that, working side to side, moving with your breath. Beautiful. And then from here, each time you plant your hand back down, we're really going to push down through the finger pads and knuckles and maybe just begin to turn the fingers out toward the long edge of the mat. So just opening up into the wrists. Beautiful. So just moving with your breath, taking another couple each way, and eventually you're working the fingers back towards the knees, but only as much as it's comfortable for your wrist. We don't want to overdo it here. This is a wrist warm-up. We don't want to damage our wrists. Good. One more each way. And then maybe the fingers are pointing all the way back towards the knees, or maybe they're out towards the long edge of the mat. We'll hold there. Take an inhale to stretch the eyes up. Take a cow-shaped position. And then on the exhale, curling the chin in towards the chest. We continue to press down through finger pads and knuckles. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, stretch the eyes up, open the heart. Exhale, tuck the chin in, scoop the belly in. Lovely. Coming back to a neutral spine position, gaze down toward the mat, and just really gently unraveling the hands. And now we're going to take the backs of the hands down onto the mat. So the fingers are still pressing in towards your knee or pointing in towards your knees. Maybe the knees walk a little bit closer to the fingers because this is not a range of motion we often come into. And again from here, let's stretch the eyes up for cow pose. And then as you curl in, curl your fingers in towards your palms. Beautiful. Let's do that 2 more times through. Inhale, stretch the eyes up, fingertips touch down. Exhale, curl in, finger pads curl towards the palms. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Inhale back to a neutral spine position, and then exhale, touching the palms back down. Good. So you're back in a neutral tabletop position. We're going to have a go here at a variation of balance dog. So our first real balancing pose today. So most often with balance dog, we take opposite arm and opposite leg out. But today we're going to do the same side of the body just to challenge the balance a little more through this warm-up. With your next inhale, reach the right arm out nice and long. See how that affects your balance. And then see how you go now also extending right leg. So you'll probably feel like you want to do the opposite. You might need to adjust to get into balance. See how that goes. It can get wobbly. Just take your time. And then from this position, you could come up onto the finger pads like Katie is. It's definitely more tricky. See whether you can curl the elbow in toward the knee and then extend back out. Definitely way, way more challenging than the regular bird dog. Good. So do what you need to find your centre of gravity, find your balance, and just take 3 rounds like this. That's looking really good, Katie. Good. And then when you've done your 3, hold for a breath, and then we're touching right foot and right knee down. Resettle, reconnect with your breath, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. So this is a super challenging bird dog. Start with the left arm long, and then when you're feeling ready, try and get that left leg pressing out behind. When you're feeling steady, exhale, curl the knee in toward the nose, elbow toward the knee, and use the inhale to expand the body. Curling in, expanding back. Last one, curling in, expand, and then setting the left hand, left knee back down. Good, maybe taking a gentle stretch back in child's pose. Good, see what feels good. And just taking a breath there. One more deep inhale. And then with your exhale, pressing down through the hands, tucking the toes. And we're just going to hover the knees up off the mat, just a few centimetres. Keep the gaze between the hands, push down through the hands. Taking a breath in. And then with your breath out, send the hips up and back for your first downward facing dog. And once you're upside down, taking a little pedal out, maybe a nod and shake of the head, wiggle of the hips, just searching out any areas where you feel tense and just letting that release. Send breath there, breathe with intention. Good. Set yourself back into stillness at your pace. And we'll take a few rounds of balance dog. So starting this one by just gently lifting the right hand just a centimetre or so off the mat. See how that feels for your balance. And this time we will go with the diagonal. So left hand stays pressing down, right foot stays pressing down, but left toes just come up. Maybe it's a few centimetres off the mat. Maybe you get a little higher like Katie has. Take one more breath. And then we'll touch right hand, left foot down. Just settle. And then with your next inhale, left hand, right foot up off the mat. Good. So you can just start by working with the hand first and then get the foot up. Good. Settle back into downward facing dog at your breath. And let's see if we can do this one movement, one breath. Right hand and left foot. Touching down with the exhale. Inhale, left hand, right foot. Touch down with your exhale. One more each side. Breathe in. Touch down. Swap it over. Breathe in. And touch down. Settle yourself back in stillness. Downward facing dog. Good. So as we move through any vinyasas today, you could always add in that balanced dog as a little variation to level up your practice and incorporate a little more balance. Good. With the next inhale, inhale up high onto the toes. Then we'll send the heels back towards the earth. We'll do that one more time. Inhale high onto the toes. Exhale, stretch the heels back. Listening for the change. Inhale high onto the toes, and then this time as you exhale, wave the spine forward into plank position. Good. Inhale, take a breath in your plank, and with the exhale, hips come up and back for downward facing dog. So 2 more times like that. Inhale high onto toes, exhale, wave the spine forward. Stay in your plank position for the inhale, and then the exhale sends the hips up and back, downward dog. Last time through, inhale high, lift the heels. Exhale, wave vertebrae by vertebrae out into plank position. Stay for your inhale. And then with the exhale, press the earth away, the hips come up and back, downward facing dog. So good. Take a deep, full breath in, a releasing sigh out. And then from here, taking as many steps as you need, keeping your knees as bent as you need, make your way up to the top of the mat. Good, we'll hang here in a forward fold, ragdoll position, maybe catching hold of opposite elbows. You might transfer the weight from foot to foot, maybe a little wiggle through the knees, let the head hang low. Knees can be as bent as you need. Beautiful, releasing the arms underneath the shoulders, push down through the feet, and let's take a super slow roll up to standing to salute the sun. The palms will touch up overhead, look up to the hands, and then on the exhale, draw the hands back down toward the heart space. Close your eyes, take a breath. Feel the connection of your feet down toward the earth. Even though you don't feel like you're balancing when you're on 2 feet, you actually are. See if you can feel those little micro movements, your body keeping you in your upright position as you stand in Tadasana. Notice your breath. And we'll move through a modified sun salutation. So blinking open the eyes. Inhale to stretch the arms up, lift the heart, lift the gaze. And then on your exhale, tucking the chin, rolling down into a forward fold. Beautiful. We'll take a half lift, lengthen out, fingertips on mat or the shins. And then with your exhale, bow forward, bend the knees, plant the hands, and step the right foot back into plank position. Good. Holding there at the top of your plank. You've got a long line from heels to crown of head. The pelvis tucks slightly, core engaged, pressing down through the hands and doming the upper back. Take one last breath here. And then with the exhale, we'll shift the body weight forward, lower down onto the knees, and then come down in a nice straight line with elbows tucked to the side waist, all the way down onto the belly. Good. Bring the hands out onto the floor, outside the mat for a wide arm cobra. So we'll make this our cobra variation today. Fingertips pressing down, palms up off the mat. And then with the inhale, come from the back of the heart and rise up. Good. With your exhale, peel your way back down. Good. 2 more like that. Inhale, glutes stay engaged. Exhale, roll back down. 1 last time. Inhale. Exhale, rolling down. Good. Draw the hands back under the shoulders alongside the rib cage. Tuck the toes and push back into downward facing dog. If you like to come through child's pose, you're more than welcome to do that. Good. We'll bring the big toes to touch at the back of the mat. Inhale deeply. And then with your exhale, bending your knees, sending the gaze forward, and then walking, or you could take a little hop up to the top of the mat. Take a half lift at the top. With your exhale, bow forward, and then push down through the feet and roll your way up to standing. Salute the sun. Glutes stay switched on, and then with your exhale, hands back down through the midline, fold your way forward. Lengthen out for a half lift. Exhale, bend the knees deeply, plant the hands flat. Left foot steps back first this time, followed by the right. Good. So remembering you've got the modified variation if you like. Otherwise, let's take a breath in, and then with the exhale, shifting body weight forward, coming down halfway, bending the elbows, and then inhale to press up for upward facing dog. Sorry, Katie. And then on the exhale, tucking the chin, scooping the belly, rolling over the toes, come back to downward facing dog. Good. So the vinyasas are yours. Take the modifications that are right for your practice, leveling up or leveling down as you need. Good. So from here, we're going to take an inhale, bend the knees, and make our way up to the top of the mat. So you can walk, step, or take a light hop. We'll take a half lift, forward fold, and listening for the change, scooping the hands back. We're going to sit down into a chair pose. Good. Sitting down deeply into your chair. Sit bones pressing back into that invisible chair behind you. Weight is back into the heels. The arms are strong. If the arms alongside the ears are too strong, you could always bring the hands to the heart. Take one more breath here. And then we'll touch the palms together, gently fold your way forward. Good. Lengthen out, take a half lift. Fold forward. And from here, we're going to roll up to standing. Keep the left foot planted down. Draw the right knee in towards your nose. Arms come out at shoulder height. With your exhale, you're going to hug your arms around your knee and make yourself into a little cocoon. And then with the inhale, send the right leg behind the body and expand the arms. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Curl in again, nose and knee towards each other. And then expand. Last one, curling in. Expand, give that right glute a big squeeze. We'll hold here this time. Take a breath in, and then with your exhale, tip at the hips and turn this into a warrior three. Good. So hands can do whatever feels comfortable. They can be out front like Katie has, or alongside the body in a bit more of a Superman position. Take one more breath. We're wrapping that right hip down so we have even hips. And then with your exhale, soften front knee, hands come down around the front foot. Good. The back toe can touch down. Yep. So we're coming into a runner's lunge. Beautiful. Let's keep right hand down on the mat and we'll open up with the left arm for an easy twist. Good. And then left hand back down. Good. This time with the easy twist, see if you can circle your arm back like a big rainbow shape. Good. And then back forward. One more time, easy twist, circling the arm back. And then touching the hands down. Good. We're going to step back and take a flow from here. So we're pushing down through the palms, engaging the core, and then taking the flow the way you like to move, modifying down for a cobra variation if that's best, or chaturanga, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Making your way to the top of the mat, maybe that's a walk, a step, or a light hop. We'll take a half lift. And then bow forward, sweep the hands back, moving into chair pose. Good, sitting down into your chair, trying to find that lightning bolt shape through your body. Sit bones back towards the earth, the weight is back in the heels. Take one more breath. Touch the palms together, gently fold your way forward. Lengthen out, take a half lift. Fold forward, right foot pushes down as left knee draws into the chest as you roll your way to standing. Use your exhale to curl the arms around the front knee, flexing the spine. As you inhale, expand back like a big butterfly, squeeze the left glute, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Curl in, move with your breath. Expanding back. Opening the heart. Last time through, curl in, make yourself a little cocoon. Expand back, beautiful butterfly. We'll hold here. Squeeze the left glute, squeeze the shoulder blades. Breath in, breath out. Tip at the hips, gently through to warrior three. Do what feels comfortable with your arms. Left toes can be pointed or flexed, just keeping the leg engaged, wrapping left hip down. One last breath. Soften front knee, back foot touches down, hands around the front foot. Left hand down, right hand, it's coming back in that rainbow shape if you can. So just an easy twist sort of position. And then see if you can rainbow back with the arm. And then reaching forward. So one more just like that, twisting back. And reaching forward, hands frame the front foot, stepping back gently to take your flow from here. Modified vinyasa, or if you're feeling ready, you can always level up as well. So good. Take a breath. Reconnect. And then when you're ready, making your way up to the top of the mat, take a half lift, fold forward, sweep the hands back, coming into chair pose, sitting down deeply into your chair. Good. And an optional change here, you can stay in chair if that's best for you. Otherwise, expanding the arms, taking a big breath in, and then with your exhale, sending the arms behind the body and coming up onto the toes to challenge the balance. Inhale, stretching the arms ahead. Exhale, up onto toes, hands behind your back. Good, one more just like that. Inhale, ground the heels. Exhale, up onto the toes. Inhale, ground the heels, palms touch overhead. Exhale, gently folding your way forward. Beautiful. Taking a half lift. Bow forward. And now we're going to roll to standing. So you're drawing the right knee into the chest with you. Inhale. Exhale, curl in, make yourself that little cocoon. Inhale to expand. And then on the exhale, we'll tip at the hips and come into warrior three. Good. So with the warrior three, this time, just to destabilize the balance, maybe have a go at doing some freestyle swimming arms. If that is that's breaststroke, Katie. Freestyles, yeah, that's the one. Yeah. So just another breath or so here. It definitely will get strong in the left glute. And then when you've had enough, come back to stillness. Hands touch down around the front foot, back foot touches down. Good. So from here, you can take 3 more easy twists, or if you're feeling okay, maybe you could turn those into Cleopatras this time. So circling the arm back, maybe dipping the hip down, and then touching back down. So easy twist or Cleopatra. Good. And then one more time, just work with your breath. And then hands down around the front foot. So we're in a runner's lunge position. We've got the front knee stacked over the front ankle. From here, we're going to do some runner's lunge tucks. So these are strong. Move with your breath. We'll take an inhale to begin and prepare. And then with your exhale, you're bringing the right knee in towards your nose, curling in. Inhale to expand back, tap back. Exhale, curling in. Good. Inhale, tap back. Exhale, curl. Good. So 2 more at your pace. So we'll try to do 5 on each side. And then when you have done your 5, or if you've simply had enough, come back to stillness, and then we'll step the left foot back and take a flow from there. Leveling the flow up or down, skipping the flow if that's what your body needs. You could spend some time in child's pose. You could spend some time resting in downward dog. Good. Take a breath. And in your own time, make your way up to the top of the mat. Lengthen out for a half lift. Fold forward, mount the upper body over the legs. And from here, we'll sweep the hands back, moving into chair pose. Sitting down into your chair. Good. Breath in. Breath out, coming up onto the toes, lifting the heels, arms behind the body. Inhale, heels touch down, arms expand. Exhale, high onto the toes. Inhale, heels back. Exhale, high onto the toes. Last one. Inhale, ground the heels, stretch out. Exhale, gently fold your way forward. Good. Did an extra one, Katie. Good. Take a half lift. Bow forward, and then pushing down through the right foot, we're rolling with the left knee in towards the chest to stand, arms out at shoulder height. Exhale, curl in. Inhale, left leg back, squeeze the glute, and then it's a tip of the hip, so you're coming into warrior three. Good. So to up-level this balance, maybe it's backstroke arms this time. You don't have to do these add-on variations. They definitely destabilize the balance and make it harder. So you can do backstroke with the arms. You can do whatever you like with your arms, but this is just something to level up. Take one more breath. Good. And then we're stepping back with control, hands frame the front foot. Left hand down, right arm's going to make that rainbow shape, either for easy twist or Cleopatra if you prefer. Just being gentle with the hips. So the Cleopatra is going to be a little more strengthening for upper body, a little more opening for the hips. Good, and when you've done your 3, we're coming back with hands around the front foot and getting ready for those runner's lunge tucks. So just prepare, take a breath, and then we're going to use an exhale to draw the left knee in towards the chest. Good, and then expand back, exhale, curl in. So there's 5 of these, just take it at your pace. It's a great idea. Usually it feels best if we expand and inhale and compress the body and exhale. But whatever's best for your body, just move with your breath and stay connected. Good. So balancing on 3 points of contact with here, getting beautiful mobilization for the spine as well. Good. And then when you're done, when you've done your 5, it's time for a flow or time for a rest if that's what your body needs. Maybe it's a child's pose now. They're definitely, those tucks are definitely very taxing for the cardiovascular system. They're getting the heart pumping for sure. Good. Take a breath. And in your own time, walking our way up to the top of the mat or taking a little hop, it's up to you. Lengthening out for a half lift. Bow forward, sweep the hands back. Final time through chair pose. Sit down deeply into your chair. Let's just do 1 round of the drinking bird balance this time. So you're taking an inhale and then an exhale onto the toes. Inhale to reach the hands up. And then as you exhale, fold your way forward. Left foot stays planted, right knee rolls in towards the chest, arms out at shoulder height. Just 1 round through the cocoon to butterfly, curl in, expand back, and then we tip at the hips, come in to warrior 3. Beautiful. So the balance the add-on this time, you could do those breaststroke arms if you wanted to add a bit of challenge to this balance. 1 more breath. And then we're stepping back with control, hands frame the front foot. So again, you could take runner's lunge or, easy twist or Cleopatra, or maybe this time you would like to catch hold of the left toes with the left hand and come back into Vashisthasana. So you can make this any variation that you like. Good. So another 2 rounds of Cleopatra, or you're holding in Vashisthasana, side plank. You could lift the top foot off the bottom foot and turn it into a bit of a star if you like, just making this your own. You could even bring that top foot behind and come into a wild thing. Good. Take 1 last breath. And then when you're ready, we're going to come back to a runner's lunge. So the left foot needs to come back up to the top of the mat. Beautiful. Good. So we've got the tucks again. You can keep both hands down around the front foot, or maybe this time you could hover the hands off the mat and curl the right knee in toward the nose. And then gently pressing back. You can press back onto the mat or you can press back into air so you're not touching the back foot down. It's your choice. So just between 3 and 5, we're definitely beginning to, really get the body moving, and you might be getting a little fatigued now. So just taking everything at your pace. Good. And then stepping back into runner's lunge. From here, we're going to step the back foot in to meet the front foot. Take a half lift. Bow forward, And roll your way up to a standing position. Salute the sun, touch the palms up overhead, bringing the hands to the heart. Good. Right foot stays grounded, and we're going to lift the left leg out long. So keeping the toes flexed in towards your face, hands to your heart. And then we're going to turn the heel to the midline, so you're externally rotating the hip and taking left ankle on the top of the right knee. Good. Take a breath in, and then with your breath out, sitting down deeply into your open eagle chair. So another balance here. Good. Inhale to rise up. And then this time, as you exhale, you can sit down into your open eagle chair. And then you've got 3 or 4 breaths to have a little play here. So that might be beginning to bring the fingertips down toward the mat and search for an arm balance, either preparation or coming into an arm balance if that's best for you. If that's not something that appeals to you in your practice, you could even twist your left elbow over to the left sole of foot and come into a twist. So it's 3 or 4 breaths, just taking your open eagle to where you would like it to go. Good. And then when you've had enough, we'll come back up to a standing position and touch both feet down onto the mat and take a flow back to downward facing dog from here. Beautiful. Remember, when you get back into downward facing dog, you could level up with a balanced dog on each side. So that's lifting opposite hand and opposite foot up off the mat. So that's just a little variation you could add in back in the downward dog. Beautiful. Take a breath, reset. And then when you're ready, making your way up to the top of the mat. Take a half lift, bow forward, and we sweep the hands back, sitting down deeply into your chair. Last time through. Sit bones back toward the earth. Breath in, expand the arms. Breath out, lift the heels, rise up onto the toes, that drinking bird position. Inhale, heels back. And exhale, touch the palms together, fold forward. Take a half lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Left foot stays down, right foot stays down, left knee rolls in towards the chest. Good. Curl in, cocoon. Expand, beautiful butterfly. Then we're tipping at the hips, warrior 3. So your variation with the arms, if you want to destabilize the balance, think about maybe doing one of those swimming poses, breaststroke, freestyle, backstroke, just challenging and switching on your core that little bit more. Good. Last breath here. Step back with control. We're coming into the runner's lunge position. Left hand down, right hand up. So it's either easy twist for 3 rounds, it's a Cleopatra for 3 rounds, or maybe this time the right foot steps back for Vashisthasana. If you're working in Vashisthasana, the hips are lifting to the sky, the rib cage is lifting to the sky, pressing down through the bottom hand. Good. Last breath, your variation. And then we gently need to get that right foot back up to the top of the mat. Just settle in your runner's lunge. And it's another round of the tuck. So remember, if you wanted to hover the hands off the mat this time for a little challenge and press the foot back into air rather than touching down, just take the variation that's right for you. So just between 3 and 5, that right glute will be getting activated strongly, no doubt. Core switching on. We're getting some spinal mobilization here too. Just stay with your breath. When you're done, step back into your runner's lunge position. Take a breath. And then we're stepping the back foot in to meet the front foot. Take a half lift. Fold forward and then roll your way to standing, saluting the sun. Palms touch. And then bring the hands back down toward the heart. We're extending the right leg long this time. Left toes pressing down into the earth. Yep, other way, that's it. Good, so flexing toes back towards your face. You probably feel a little burn in the right quad. Stay for another breath. See if you can lean toward the leg rather than leaning away from it. Then we're turning right heel toward the midline and coming towards open eagle. Opening your hip. Get steady. Take a breath. And then sitting down into your open eagle. Good. Inhale to gently rise up. And on the exhale, sitting down. And you now have sort of between 3 and 5 breaths to play in whatever variation you like. You can just stay in a static balance if that's best. Maybe you could work towards an arm balance like Katie is. If you're working towards the arm balance, you really want to get those hands flat down on the mat. We're keeping the gaze forward. And then just working at transferring the weight forward into the hands. When you've had enough, a slow roll back up to standing. Good. And then we'll wash all that out with one final flow. Fold forward, lengthen out, and then your flow back to downward facing dog. So nice. Take a breath. Again, maybe acknowledging the intention you set at the start of practice. Noticing where your gaze, your focus, your drishti is placed at the moment. Good. Take an inhale. With the exhale, bend and soften the knees, walking the hands to the back of the mat. Good. We'll take a half lift at the back of the mat. Exhale, fold. Push down through the feet as you roll up to standing. Salute the sun. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Inhale, draw right knee in towards your chest. And then we're going to interlink the hands around the front of the knee. And as best you can, see whether you can stand in your balance and connect your nose and your knee together. Deep flexion for the spine. Good. And then release back into a neutral spine position. See if you can take your right foot behind and catch hold of your right foot with your right hand. So you're coming, it's really just like a bit of a quad stretch to start out with. And then if you wanted to double bind and turn it into standing bow, you could. So bring left hand onto the foot as well, just up to you. Maybe there's a little extra squeeze in the shoulder blades to get a bit of heart opening. Take one more breath. And then we're going to gently step the right foot forward. Left knee in towards the chest. So we're just going to travel up the mat with this balance, that's it. And then you can keep your left hand on your knee or maybe pistol grip the left toes. And you've got the option there to extend the leg out. And then we're going to open through the hip. So you can hold the knee or the toes. Take a breath. Staying strong through that right glute, so the glute on the standing leg. And then we're gently coming back into center. Swap the hands over, so we'll bring the right hand onto the outside of the right knee or the right foot, and then turn this into a twist. So you could use your left hand behind the body to counterbalance, and maybe you're even searching for your left thumb with your gaze. Good, one more breath. And then gently stepping the left foot forward, and we'll come back over to the right side. So we've already done the quad stretch to prepare for this pose. We're going to move into Natrajasana. So if you just prefer a quad stretch, you can stay right here if this is enough for you. Otherwise, we're lifting left hand to the sky. Taking a breath in, squeezing the right glute, and then tipping the hips forward. Maybe there's a little resistance between the right foot and the right hand. Take one more breath. And then gently returning to a neutral position. Right foot touches down. Good, take a little wiggle out if you need. Palms touch up overhead. Inhale. Exhale, fold forward. You can flow your way back to downward facing dog or simply step back. Take your journey back there. Good, inhale, soften the knees, walking the hands back towards the feet. Take a half lift, bow forward, slow roll up to standing, unravel the spine vertebrae by vertebrae. Palms touch overhead, hands to the heart. Left knee draws in towards the chest. And then we'll interlink the hands around the front of the knee. So that little balance again. Take a breath in, and then with your exhale, see if you can connect the nose and the knee. Good, one more breath. Gently unravel back to neutral, and without letting that left foot touch down, see if you can take it behind the body and catch hold of the top of the foot with the left hand. So just taking this to whatever variation is right for you. You might just stay in a fitness style quad stretch, or maybe you can double bind and turn it into standing bow. Maybe a bit of a squeeze of the shoulder blades, squeeze the left glute to open the left hip flexor. Good, and then just really gently releasing. It's just a little mini step forward with the left foot, so then you can lift the right knee in towards the chest. And we're moving into that hand to big toe pose or variation of. So you either pistol gripping the big toe or hand on the right knee, extend out, and then we're going to open the hip. Take a breath. Bringing your leg or your knee back to center, and then we're swapping over with the hands, left hand on the outside of the right knee or the outside of the right foot, and maybe you're searching for your right thumb with your gaze. Take one more breath, and then gently unravel the spine, come back to center, right foot touches down, and we're taking hold of the left foot with the left hand, preparing for Natrajasana, that dancer's pose. Just a reminder, if this is strong for you, you can definitely stay in a quad stretch. Otherwise, we're lifting the right arm, tipping the hips, breath in, and then moving into your balancing position. Keeping the gaze fixed on something non-moving ahead of you will help with the balance. Last breath. And then gently releasing. Good. Final flow back to downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. And stepping back, downward facing dog. So good. Take a breath. Inhale. And then as you exhale, releasing the knees down towards the mat. Good. Extending the arms out, just taking a few breaths in child's pose. Resettling, reconnecting. Good. And then lifting your head. Coming back up, walking the hands back towards the knees, and then we'll flip the legs forward so you can just rock over onto one hip and extend the legs out in front. Just make sure you've got some space behind you on your mat. So good. And then a slow roll down onto your back. Beautiful. Draw the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a bit of a squeeze, a bit of a hug. Nice, gently touching the feet down at hip width apart. Make sure the toes and knees are tracking forward, hands alongside the body, and we'll push down through the feet, squeeze the glutes to lift the hips. Coming up for a bridge roll. Maybe you interlink the hands underneath your back. Good, and from this bridge position, if you are moving into wheel pose, you're more than welcome to move into that position from here. Good, take one more breath. And then releasing the hands from behind the back, slowly rolling down vertebrae by vertebrae. Good. Bring the feet to mat width apart, have a gentle windscreen wipe of the legs. So good. Nice. And then we'll come back to stillness. Lift the right leg to the sky. Bring the right ankle over the top of the left knee. So just moving into that supine figure four, that piriformis stretch. We've done a fair bit on one leg today, so nice to give the glutes a bit of a stretch out. If it feels okay for you, the left knee can draw in towards the chest, catching hold of the left leg, either behind the thigh or on the front of the shin. Try to let the head, neck and shoulders relax back. If movement is calling you could take a gentle rock of the hips side to side. One last breath. And then unravel the bind with the hands, let the left foot touch down. We'll bring the arms out at shoulder height. So just keep the leg bound up from now, Katie. Yep. Push, keep it bound. Right foot up. Yep. Yes, just keep the bind, keep the figure four, Left foot down, and then we're just going to push down through the left foot as we lift the hips, and we're going to twist the legs over to the right. So just coming to the left, sorry. Right, over to that side, I'll give you a demo. Yeah, so I go this way. The other way as well, no problem. That's it. Backs of the shoulders melting into the earth. Take another breath into the space on the right side of the rib cage. And then gently unravel the legs and come back onto your back. Unravel the bind. And then we'll do the same on the other side. Good. So just starting off in the figure four position, just see how it feels on this side. And then when you're ready, maybe you're curling the right knee in towards the chest. You can interlink the hands behind your thigh or over the top of the shin. And really commit to letting the head, neck and shoulders relax back. And if a little bit of gentle movement's calling, you don't have to stay static in this position. You could take a little rock of the hips just to soften into the area around the left side of the hip. Last breath. And then gently lowering the right foot down, arms come out at shoulder height, and then just a little push down through the sole of the right foot, rock the hips over to the left, but the legs drop to the right. And then just adjust the backs of the shoulders and the hips as you need. And then maybe looking out towards the left hand. Just breathing space into the spine. Last breath. Unravel the legs, maybe helping to unravel the legs with the hands and then coming on to your back. Beautiful. Last little squeeze of knees in towards your chest. Beautiful. And then let the head, neck and shoulders relax back as you lift the soles of the feet to the sky. Good. And from here, engage the core, lift head, neck and shoulders up and reach up for your shins. So you're going to hold your shins in a teardrop shape. Just when you thought all the balancing was done, one final balance to deliver us into Shavasana. So stay here for one more round of breath. Take a deep inhale. And then as as you exhale, gently releasing the hands. Hands come overhead and the legs float down onto the mat slowly, slowly. Good. You've made it. Good. If you do need any final movements, stretches, adjustments before we head to Shavasana, you're more than welcome to do what feels comfortable. And then settling yourself into stillness. Scan your physical body, maybe starting at the tips of the toes, and work your way up the body, searching out anywhere that you're holding any tension, anywhere you're gripping or straining unnecessarily. Acknowledge that and let it dissolve. The usual culprits can be in the belly, around the face. Really allow the hands to relax, let the fingers curl lightly in toward the palms. Whole jaw is soft. Mouth is relaxed. Your tongue floats up to touch the pocket behind the two front teeth. Peace, stillness, just watching your breath for these final few minutes. This is where we can absorb and integrate all the balancing asana, lock it into muscle memory. This is where the yoga magic is created. Life can be sunshine on peaceful days with bright blue skies, or life can be raindrops that fall like tears squeezed from your eyes. Life can be heaven that you'll only reach through hell, since you won't know that you're happy if you've not been sad as well. Life can teach hard lessons, but you'll be wiser once you know that even roses need both sunshine and a touch of rain to grow. Yogis, please stay as long as you need in your resting Shavasana position. And I certainly urge you to do so for a minimum of another 5 to 10 breaths. 5 to 10 minutes would be even better. It's been an honour to guide you through